What is going on, guys? We are back playing some more on the HermitPack. Now, it has been a long time since the last episode, and I've been in the world doing a bunch of work. Now, it hasn't actually been building anything. The base pretty much looks the same, except for some minor tweaks to it. But what I've been doing is gathering a bunch of resources. Now, what we did last episode, setting up this quarry right here, simplified that a ton. If I look in here, which I will in a second, you'll see what I mean. But we are currently on chunk 14 out of 110. So I had been running a 20 by 20 quarry and just kind of incrementally moving it so that it was eventually getting to a big square area, but it was doing a little bit at a time so that I could get the more important resources faster, since obviously I want, tin and copper and all that, which we're going to get exclusively at the higher levels, and then I still want redstone and diamonds and lapis, but basically I wanted to get a decent amount of that really fast, so I would run a regular 20 by 20 quarry. Instead of running the really big, like 512 by 512, I think is the max when you can run. But I got a fair bit of resources, I got what I needed, and then I decided I wanted to run a larger one. And so I believe the dimensions on the one that you might be able to see, just the outline of it over there, is 150 by 150. And it hasn't finished running. I think it's barely gotten into what it's going to actually have to go through. It's on chunk 14 out of 110. A lot of those chunks are probably just ones that are just clipping in the edge of it, but even so, it's not even close to being like a quarter of the way done. And if we look in this chest here, now you can't even see it on the top because of, I guess, how the game wants to display the inventory along with the storage, but this is a medium storage crate. And I was really disappointed when I first made this. I gotta tell you guys, it's kind of annoying to make the upgrade. If we go over and we look at storage, you can see they're the first three right up here. They're actually additions, which of course I love this mod now. A lot of you guys suggested it and I am loving it. But we've got the small storage crate, and that was really easy to make. And then we've got the medium one, which required some void crystal blocks, which took some RF and then a block of coal. So it was a little bit annoying to make. Really not that bad compared to some of the other stuff that I've made, but I made that and I was really disappointed because when you open it up, it's the same size. Little did I know you can flip over to the next page. Now, unfortunately, you cannot organize these both together. So if we just get rid of this right here, if I organize this right here, it does not organize this page too. They don't combine, but luckily it can pretty much input to both inventories at the same time. So that was one thing I was worried about, is if it would register this as being one inventory above it, or if it'd have problems putting it into the second page. Works perfectly fine. Now, there are other ways that I can improve this whole setup, make it a lot easier on myself. A lot of different ways that I can filter things that would only require me using one block, and eventually I will get to that. Someone actually just suggested it the other day before I went to bed, I think, and I was like, wow, I should really do that, but I never got around to it. But right now we are using a lot of blacklisted and whitelisted items. So I've got up here a bunch of the ores that are whitelisted. Down here I have whitelisted all the stuff that I want to get trashed. And then over here, I really don't need to whitelist anything on both of these, mainly just because it's pulling them out. The only ones that'll go into this will have been pulled out from the crusher. And then there's a couple miscellaneous things like I don't know how you pronounce this, but like the galena ore and the bauxite that you don't want to process right now, because this one requires us to have, I guess it's the, I don't even know what it requires to use the dust. Is it the industrial blast furnace? So if we don't have this, we really can't do anything with it as far as I'm aware. And the same goes for bauxite. We actually have like no use for this at all. If we look at this dust, I don't even know what this does. It makes the small pile and that does nothing. So if any of you guys know, does this do anything? Like, does this ore do anything at all? Ever? So, let me know. But, maybe you use it to get titanium. I don't know. You only get that from this. Whatever. But we've got a lot of resources now. And unfortunately, I don't have as much power as I'd like. Now, basically the way I got these resources was by leaving this whole thing on while I went to bed, and I just sit in the world with my inventory open so that I could alt tab and, do other stuff and all that, and just let it run and it'd be perfectly fine because we don't really have that much power. Now, of course, this whole thing is filled up. It's got like 10 million, I assume that's like 10 million RF in there. All these are good to go. Everything's been processed, but that's because I've been AFKing and I really don't want to do that. So eventually we will be moving on to bigger and better power, mainly just because we've got a ton of resources now. So why not? We've gotten past the early stage of the game. Now there's not really anything limiting us to what we want to make. But one thing that I want to do is come out here and I don't know why I'm walking out here. There's really not much of a good view I can get, but I want to make the improvements over here to the canola seed farm to see how it turns out. Now, I'm not restricted like I normally am in my Surviving With series. There's a lot of improvements that can be made to this, and although there are a bunch of better power sources that we could get right now very easily, I want to kind of see how far we can take this, because we've got the time to do it. So I thought, you know what, let's look at this in case someone's making some of this. They want to make, you know, a good canola farm. They don't have all the resources they would need to set up some reactor, but they do have the ones to make a maxed out canola farm. So in here is a lot of the stuff that we are going to need. Now, the first thing we're going to be looking into, and I believe I mentioned it before, is fertilized dirt. So it's going to show up as like the last thing on here, fertilized dirt from random things. Now, this is a little bit annoying just because you actually have to have a lot of mob drops for this. So the bone meal is not bad. You can process that easily in any kind of grinder, macerator, crusher, whatever you want to get, and you'll get at least 6. You could get even more. When I process it using the sag mill with flint, you can get 12, I think. So it makes it really, really easy to get a bunch of bone meal. But I never thought I'd say this, I am actually low on rotten flesh. So I don't know if we're going to be able to upgrade the whole farm today, but I want to do it as almost like a test to see how effective it is. Now, I know a lot of people, I think I saw one of Etho's videos, and he made a farm like this. I never actually saw him make a farm of it, but I saw him testing out the Torturino. And a lot of you guys were like, don't use it, don't use it. And as far as I know, it's either being removed from the pack or being like nerfed. I think it's being removed. But basically, I was like, let's see how fast we can get it without the Torturino. So what I want to do, and I've got all the worms that we're going to need to put that down. You need 9 of them because, of course, it's going to be a 3 by 3 of patches where the worms can go. But what we need to do first is come out here and basically clear this whole area out. So I'm going to need this dirt, and we're going to need the canola seeds. So what we're going to do is basically just come down here, and we're going to clear this whole area out, get all of our seeds back, and then unfortunately it doesn't drop the worms. I don't know if there's any way to make the worms pop off, but they just kind of like go away when you get rid of the block. I think at least. I don't think you get, yeah, you don't get them back. So a little bit unfortunate, but I made sure we had enough for the episode today. And then once we do this with the fertilized dirt, and unfortunately it looks like it's becoming nighttime out, but once we do this with the fertilized dirt, I want to make some greenhouse glass. Now, I've been talking about greenhouse glass for a while, and I've messed around with it before. It's actually slightly annoying to make. Now, it requires you to kind of delve a little bit deeper into actually additions, and of course I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm actually thoroughly enjoying the mod, but it is going to require a little bit of work, and we got to get out of here somehow. Let's just break this right here. Oh no, 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 no. Why? Every time. Okay, well, let's see how we want to do this. People say not to spam click, but like I want to spam click, but I'm not savvy enough to know how fast you can click. I don't know. We can go sleep upstairs, I guess, because we're going to be working outside, and then we can craft as much of this as possible. I'm basically just going to want to kind of get, I guess, 1 quadrant of it upgraded as much as possible. So even if we only get, you know, a little bit, maybe it's like about 5 by 5 area would be a little bit over a quadrant. There's no exact amount, but we can make this if we come in here. And getting all this stuff, I actually died a fair bit getting all the rotten flesh and bone meal, because when you're outside at night here, you really get swarmed. Like, a lot of stuff spawns at night. So let's pop this in there, and I guess that's not going to be as much as we need, but that's the best we can get at this point. I'm surprised I'm short on rotten flesh, but this is what we're going to get. So we can go back outside, put it down. Now, the one hope that I have is that this actually works properly with the farming station, or not farming station, the farmer. And the only reason I say that is because I've had problems in the past, and the game honestly might crash here, but I've had problems in the past where it can't hoe the land, and that's perfectly fine if it can't hoe the land. I don't even know if the land needs to be hoed. Let's check. Can we plant these? Okay, we can't plant them right away, and this is not hoeing. Whoa. It's a lot. Wait, why are both of these filled with canola seeds? Does it leave 1 slot open there for the canola to go in? Wow. Okay, so this is not looking promising to start. Let's see what happens if we put regular dirt down. Is this going to get hoed eventually? Yeah, see, that's worrying me to start. Okay, this is already worrying me if this isn't gonna work. It won't register these, but let's see. Okay, if we put a worm down, it should automatically hoe the land. Okay, so we cannot put worms down on this either. Okay, well, this is slightly disheartening because I had made a bunch of this. Okay, so we actually cannot use fertilized dirt. Can we I'm sure we can manually hoe the land. Yeah, see, we can manually hoe it and it'll plant this, but then once it grows, it's gonna be a problem. Okay, here's another thing that I want to test. We'll test another thing. So it can be put on regular dirt. Now, if we put the worm down, will it hoe all of the land around this? That's another question. It does not look like it. It does not look like it. Now, I also don't know if this needs to be fertilized, but when this finishes growing, does it need to be re-hoed? Is another question. So, we'll take a look at this, and let's make it grow. I guess I right-clicked it too fast. So let's have a couple of these grow. And once it gets around to them, then the question becomes, will it be able to just right-click them and they stay planted? Or will the land need to get re-hoed? So it stays hoed. Will it ever become unhoed land? It shouldn't. It really shouldn't. But now I also don't know which is faster. Is a worm faster or is fertilized dirt faster at growing? Because this one's been planted over here. This one has a worm on it. These have been planted in the fertilized dirt and are growing, but obviously it was planted first. So I don't actually know which one is more effective. So that's another thing to test. There's a lot of variables with this, which is why I was interested in testing it out. But it's really unfortunate that you can't put worms on this dirt and that this doesn't manually hoe this dirt. Those are the two worries that I have. But you know what we can do? We can do a bunch of tests with this. So that's what today's episode can be. So what we're going to do is we will plant, basically, let me collect this side of the dirt, fertilized dirt, and we'll plant it over here. And we'll kind of do, oh gosh, what were those things called? Oh, it's going to be like a Venn diagram. I always hated those, but it's going to be like a Venn diagram, and we can leave it like this. We'll put this one down over there, why not? But basically what we're going to do is put all this stuff down, and we'll start overlapping stuff to see which works better. So we'll see if the worm works better with the regular dirt and greenhouse glass, if the fertilized dirt and greenhouse glass without the worm works better, just so we know which is the optimized way to go about this, since they can't overlap, unfortunately. So we'll do all this, and it's actually a little bit unfortunate because we're going to be wasting worms, but it's fine. So this worm is up there, this worm is right here, and then kind of got to do this. Just because, yeah, so that'll be fine. And then we have to manually hoe all of this dirt right here. I kind of like the way the fertilized dirt looks. I like the darker color. Okay, so there we go. It should have more than enough seeds to plant all of this. The big thing is assuming that this area stays hoed. And you can see this one's catching up. Obviously, it looks like it's one stage behind, but really it could be very, very close to being identical. So we will have to see on that one. And while we wait, we can go and get... It can harvest from this too, right? Yeah, it can, I think. But we will have to go and make the greenhouse glass. Now, again, I don't have enough stuff to make a full set of greenhouse glass, and my inventory is getting so messy already. But what we're going to be doing is making as much as we can, and we're going to be limited by two things. We're going to be limited by our amount of lapis blocks and by the amount of prismarine shards. Now, I do have to go convert a little bit more. If you don't know, you can convert prismarine shards from nether quartz using, and I should put this up against this block right here, but using the reconstructor. Now, this is only going to convert, how many did that convert? 9 of them. They take a lot to convert these. It takes like 30,000 to convert them. So luckily we had enough, but very, very close to running out. So that should be enough to match the lapis blocks I have. Obviously, we've got some extra palace crystal blocks already. So we're going to make 11 right now. So we can leave 2 up here, but we need to convert these now along with this. And we need to do some crafting. So since that's going to be recharging downstairs, we can do a little bit of crafting right now. Hopefully I have everything we're going to need. We do need probably a fair bit of iron, so we'll grab a stack of that. and we are going to need some gold nuggets. I'm going to grab some gold from up here, but I think we should have enough gold nuggets down here. You actually get a fair bit when you're in the nether, which surprised me. When you mine the gold ore in the nether, I'm pretty sure you get gold nuggets and not actual gold, which is surprising considering you get diamonds when you mine the diamond block. It's the easiest way that I've gotten diamonds so far. But what we need to go to is if we go to greenhouse glass, you can see it's right here. Pretty expensive to make. You only get 3 per empowered palace crystal block. And of course, this recipe is super easy to make, but you have to be able to empower the actual block itself, so you can power the additional or the individual crystals or the block as a whole, which you're going to use the empowerer for. Now it takes cyan dye and then 3 prismarine shards and then a bunch of power. So we need to use the empowerer. So when we click on this, you can see we need 2 iron casings, a display stand, a double battery, and a Restonia crystal. So we're going to start with the display stands, and we need I guess we actually need 5 of these. For some reason, I was thinking we only need 4, but we actually need 5 of these, so I might not even have enough stuff right now, because we actually need 4 display stands, and then we need the empowerer itself. So a lot of this is going to require quartz, and I don't think we're going to have enough, unfortunately, because we've got 24 blocks right here. Yeah, I don't actually think we're going to have enough, so I might have to hop off camera and go into the nether and get another what would it be, 6 blocks, so get about 24 more, and then I think we'll hop back and finish off with the crafting of this. Okay guys, so I'm in the nether right now. I just got 25 nether quartz. It should only be 24, assuming I had the correct amount already, so just about to head out right now. But I thought I'd use this time to address a couple of different things. So as I mentioned, if you saw my last episode, which was not a hermit pack episode, it was actually surviving with Botania. But I mentioned at the end of the episode that I was heading back to school. That's why the videos had slowed down a little bit. Oh great, it's nighttime again, or it's going to be. But you might be able to already tell the microphone should sound a little bit different. There's probably some more background noise. I don't know if it'll be better, worse, but unfortunately, you know, I've got my roommate's computer that's going to be running in the background and all this different stuff that'll be interfering with the mic. So making the quality a little bit worse, but we've had that before, we've dealt with it, so, you know, hopefully it's not too bad, but I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a heads up. So, that's why things might sound a little bit different, and I've got some funny stories to tell you guys that I think you'll appreciate, but we need to go in and actually look at these really quick. So this one requires regular block of quartz, half of them have to be that, and the other one is going to require, oh gosh, we have disappeared from that. Let's just look up the quartz so we can see this. So we've got it should be over here together on some page. I must have flipped by it. Is it not listed in here? Whatever. I think it should be the chiseled block that we're going to be using. Yeah, so the reconstructor here. So the chiseled one is the one we need to make, which means we need the slabs. So half of them need to be made into that. Now the inventory is getting pretty darn full here. Pretty darn full. So I'm going to look to dump some of this stuff off, and it looks like I'm running out of space, but should be fine with that. So half of these are going to be like this, and then half of them are going to get made into slabs and into the other blocks. Now I really got to think about this for a second. It should be 3, yeah, 3, so 5. So there we go, and then this can get turned into those blocks, and then these all have to get converted, which is going to be a fair bit of power. So let's take a look. So this is at roughly 180. So we go in here and look at the atomic reconstructor. Oh, so it only takes 10 RF to change that. Okay, so this is actually going to be really cheap. So let's put these down like this. Hopefully that works. Huh. It only changes those. I thought you could change more. Clearly it's not a power issue. I thought you could change a wider area. I feel like I've changed ones above before. Whatever. Okay, we'll do it like that then. I don't know how much this requires then for the block of quartz. Okay, that also does not require much. I feel like we've definitely done more. Let's try stacking all 9 of these right here. Wow, it only changes the bottom ones. Maybe you'd need to fire it right at the middle, and that would change it. Maybe that's why. I don't know. That seems slightly odd to me, but so we need to pick up the rest of these. Inventory is so messy. I need to get one of those like bags to put in my inventory to hold all the stuff that I always have in there. Okay, so we'll turn these. Wait, what? That was supposed to turn green. Okay, I don't know why these aren't turning green. They should have the power to do it. Let's try. Okay, yeah, so it converted those. That's a little odd that it was not turning those. Okay, let's do... Oh, wait, I was putting down the other quartz, not the chiseled one. Why do they have to look so similar? Okay, so I was putting down what the regular quartz block had been turned into, thinking it was the chiseled quartz. Okay, well, here we go. We'll finish this off. There we go. Okay, now we're done with that. We've got 3 more blocks to do. Luckily, they don't require much power, so we can just kind of speed through this. And there we are. We are done with that. Now we can pick this back up, and we'll be good to go. So, we now have all the stuff that we need for this. I am going to put this back in here. This can go back in here because we'll use that eventually. Okay, so we should be good on that front. I'll dump this back in there too, because why not? So now we have to do a little bit of crafting, and over here I actually... It's already in my inventory. So I already have a couple basic coils made, but we kind of just got to do some logical crafting for this. I know it's probably not the most enjoyable thing in the world to watch this, but basically we need to make display stands. We need 5 of them, which means we need 5 advanced coils. So of course that means we just need a bunch of gold nuggets, and then we need some Restonia. Now I don't know if we have enough on us right now. We definitely have enough of the resources up here. We just might need to convert some, so grab half a stack of that. Actually, you know what, let's grab a full stack of that, and then let's grab a full stack of black quartz to go along with it. Really can't wait until I make, I guess it's refined storage now, but till I make one of those setups, because then we can just kind of pull everything and craft it at the same time. And that's the dream. That's really the dream. Okay, so we're going to convert these 6 blocks then too. It shouldn't take much power again, but this will get us all the Restonia that we need. There we go. Obviously, it's easier to convert the blocks, but it's also cheaper to convert the individual items, but I'm lazy, so we will do that. We'll craft 1 more. Nope, we need to do it like this, so we'll craft 1 more of those, and we're definitely going to need more gold nuggets, so we'll make that many, and finish this off. Wait, what? Oh, I only needed 3 because we already had 2. Why did I think we only had 1? I'm so out of it today. Okay, well, we now have the display stands, and I guess while I'm finishing off the crafting of this, since we need 4 display stands, and then one of these needs to get turned into the Empowerer, I can tell you guys a little bit about my organic chemistry experience that I had. So, as some of you might know, and you know, if you haven't gone through college yet, you might have heard about this through, you know, an older sibling or just through the grapevine, through the internet. I don't know why you would, but basically organic chemistry is quite possibly one of the worst courses you will take in college. Mainly just because it's not really a weed out course, but because you either get it or you don't. And if you don't get it, you're gonna have a really rough time with it. And it's kind of a make or break for people a lot of the time. So I took organic chemistry 1. I did fine. I didn't do great in it, but it was not my favorite class. Let's just say that. And I was not looking forward to organic chemistry 2. And I get to class the first day. I was really hoping I had a good professor. I had looked him up on Rate My Professor before, and he looked fine. He didn't have great ratings, but none of the organic chemistry teachers did. And so I get to class, and the first thing he says is, a lot of you guys emailed me asking how you could prep for the class. And, what? I thought we already made a single battery. But a lot of people emailed him asking how to prep for the class. And he basically said, oh my gosh, all the items are getting dumped in here. All the items. So we just wasted that. That's unfortunate. Wow. That's so unfortunate. I can't believe we just wasted that. But we get to class, and he basically says, a lot of you guys emailed me asking how you could prep because there was nothing online, and I ignored you. I flat out ignored you intentionally, and that is because I do not want to talk to any of you. He just says that. I don't want to talk to any of you. So that was how he started out, and then, you know, a couple conversations go by, and he gets to the subject of asking him questions before and after class. And he basically says, if you come up and try and ask me questions before or after class, that's perfectly fine. But I am not going to want to talk to you. Like I said before, I do not want to interact with you people in any way, shape, or form, even though you are my students. So let's just he's like, I'm going to try and get you to leave me alone at all costs. You know, whatever I have to do to get you to leave me alone, I will do. And okay, so that's a little odd, I'm thinking to myself. And he's like, so you just got to press through it. And I'm like, okay, you openly know that people want to talk to you about this stuff, yet you're saying that they have to bother you repeatedly to get you to actually answer their questions. So very strange start to the day. And then he says that majority of the stuff we will be tested on will not actually be taught in the course. And I was like, okay, this guy's such a weirdo. Like, he's so weird. And lastly, he's like, okay, so then we have standardized testing. And if you don't know what that is, it basically means that your professors do not make your tests for you. It's taken from either the school, where all the professors make one together, or it's taken from an actual, like, you know, some professional could make it and decide that this is a good test for your aptitude of, you know, really anything, in this case organic chemistry. And I guess we need one more of these to finish before we have enough conduits, but I'll finish telling the story since I've just been kind of half braining it and messing stuff up in my inventory for crafting. But basically he says the final will be standardized, and that he will then take the highest grade in the class and make that kind of like the 100, so that it's not based on stuff we might not have learned. So, you know, say the highest grade in the class is a 50, then, you know, 100% will actually be 50%, and it'll be not curved, but it will be kind of scaled down to match for every person. But then he turns to us and he's like, okay, but don't get your hopes up, because last year someone got a 100, and same with the year before that. So basically telling us that he's not going to curve anything, and that the standardized final is completely useless because every year someone gets a 100. So that was how my organic chemistry class started out. A little bit worried, gotta be honest, a little bit worried. Okay, so now this stuff is all done. I do apologize because it seems I can't tell stories in craft. I'm gonna blame that though, straight up. I'm gonna blame that on the fact that I can't remember the name of the mod, like something tweaks in mine tweet, I don't know what it is, but whatever that stupid mod is that's pulling stuff from my inventory made me pull an extra single battery and an extra basic coil, just because I can't keep track of them when they go to that stupid inventory on the side of it. What we do need now though is we need these prismarine shards, and we need the cyan dye, which should be somewhere in here. There we go. We have more than enough of that. But yeah, so it's been an interesting year so far. The class that I was just at was my discussion for my chemical engineering thermodynamics class, and that class the professor said nothing, never showed up, so we just sat there and waited and did nothing. So that was fun. Now these are all slightly charged. I don't actually know how much power this takes, but we can do that. And then what do we do? Do we like right click with an open hand? Okay. Are we doing something wrong here? Or do we need to give it a redstone signal? I don't think this needs power in the center at all. But let's take a look and see. Empowered Palace Crystal Block can be used with the Empower. More information. Display stand can also be used. Okay, so it's not saying much right here. But I will go figure out what I'm doing wrong here, and then we will pop back over. Okay guys, so we are back. Now I figured out what the issue was. It was just that they need to be 2 away instead of 1 away. I don't know why I thought they needed to be 1 away, but that's perfectly fine. I'll basically just have to adjust this area down here, because I was planning for it mainly to just be for actually addition stuff. And I don't even know, I think I need an open hand to pick this up right here, but yeah, so it requires, it seems, from each pedestal 50,000 RF per operation, which really actually isn't that bad. Now I'm going to let this run this time here, and I'm going to head back upstairs, because we can now go through. Hello. Okay, my inventory's super messed up. We got to get this out. Is he trying to attack me? Hello. Okay, good. He didn't break any. Well, that one's broken right there. I don't think that was because of him, though. But we can head up here. We can grab some saplings. We can grab some glass. And we can craft this and get our experiment going. So, basically, we're just going to make the greenhouse glass. We really only need to craft 1, but we'll craft both of them that we can. It sounds like we need to go... Do we need to go sleep before we do this? I can't... Where... Where's the sun? I don't even know right now. It looks like everything's working perfectly fine out here. I obviously can't tell which one's growing faster right now. I'll have to place... Basically, I'm just going to have to do a random test of this and see if it works by placing 2 things down. So what we're going to do is we will test it in each corner. No, don't come in here. Do not come in here and mess all of this up. Break into small ones, break into small ones, break into small ones. Oh, don't break on there. No, 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 no. Get out, get out. Oh, they're going to hop around in here and they're going to break everything. I'm spam clicking because I don't want them to hop in here. Oh my gosh. Okay, that scared me. That scared me. That scared me so bad. Oh. Thank gosh it was just one of those confusion whatever creepers. Oh. Okay, is everything done? Is everything done? Is the madness done? Is the hysteria done? Please. Okay. So we're going to take some cobble. And we're going to come over here. And we're going to put it down here. And we're going to put this down right above it. It should be fine being right above it. Question is, can we break this glass and get it back? Yeah, we can. We'll put it down 2 above it, actually, just because. So we'll do that. No, stop hopping, little friend. Did it break any of these? Did it unhoe them? Okay, so we can do that, and then we're going to get this other one ready. Can we hop on here? Well, we can just walk around. There's an opening over here anyway. But we can come in here. One just needs to get replanted. And come up here. Place that there. Break the torch. Where did that even go? And put it back down there. Now, the reason I did that is because you cannot have any block between the greenhouse glass and whatever it's supposed to increase the rate of. And so, you know, I don't want to risk a torch counting. So even if it's, I guess right here, why would it matter? It doesn't matter unless it's right here. That was stupid that I broke that. But whatever. So the whole idea is to see which grows faster. So what we're going to do is basically get out my own canola seeds so we can replant these at essentially the same time. And we are going to see which one grows faster. So, going to be a slightly long process. Just because, obviously, it's going to take a while for them to grow in general. But if we go, and I think it's this, we'll be able to see the growth of it. So this is basically, I think it's called the One Probe. Now this is basically a better version of Wayla. It gives you certain things that you can see if you have the ability to break it, and while you're breaking it, you get a progress bar. But it's just so big and so much going on that I always get rid of it because it's just so much going on. Okay, so that's at 14%. The only nice thing is it shows us the percent. Again, 14%. Looking pretty even right now. Now, obviously, this is not going to be a big enough trial group, but it should give me a good idea. If it works flawlessly for now, then eventually I will just say, you know, if they're basically the same, I will transition this all to fertilized dirt. If, you know, one grows significantly faster than the other, yeah, they're literally growing at the same rate right now. Like, identical rate. Okay, so they're both sitting at 28. Obviously, it doesn't matter until it's done as to which one's growing faster, but if they tick up one more growth and they're at the same exact speed, then I'm just going to assume that it's growing at the same rate consistently and that we won't have to worry about that. And then we'll just call it, we'll say the experiment, you know, kind of gave us an answer, but really, it'll just mean that they're the same exact thing. Now, what the unfortunate part is really if we could stack the worms on top of the fertilized dirt, that would be phenomenal. It'd be growing so fast, so much faster than I could possibly hope for. But, of course, the dreams have been ruined by the fact that that doesn't work, so we'll have to do what we can with what we have. But that's really going to be it for today, guys. I'm going to obviously let this finish. We'll kind of come to a conclusion. Basically, we will turn the episode into a great lab report. But, yeah, so I'll wait and come to a conclusion at the end. But for now, that's probably going to be all that we're going to do for today. Some things that I did want to say would be, you know, a lot of you guys seem to be enjoying this series, and I know today's episode was a little bit all over the place since, you know, I'm really tilted from that story confusing me and making a second battery because it pulled it into the inventory. I really want to disable that mod. I might go in and like change that one mod and disable it on this pack. I'm pretty sure I can easily do that. But yeah, that one thing kind of messed with me. But in general, you know, these episodes are just kind of to have fun, to go through some stuff, and a lot of you guys, like I said, have been enjoying that. This has been one of my most liked and viewed series out of every single one I think I've ever done. Obviously, you know, the immersive engineering series and IC2 series and mechanism series have a ton of views and likes, but I'm talking about like the rate at which it gets them. And usually I base it off of 48 hours. That's typically a good kind of window of time to say most of your subscribers would have the ability to watch it within that time. If they wanted to. So a lot of you guys seem to be enjoying this, which is why I've been putting it out so frequently. But obviously let me know if you want to see more of the Surviving With series as opposed to seeing this. That's perfectly fine. I can do that. I enjoy all of them. So it really just comes down to this one's a little bit easier to prep for since, yeah, I don't do a ton of prep. But yeah, let me know in the comments as always. So that one's at 41. This one has not grown to the next stage yet. So I think this actually might still be better. The worms really do kick it up a notch. That's the really unfortunate part, is worms are super good. So unless I was clicking something wrong onto these, I don't think I was, then we might be stuck going with just the worms on regular dirt, because I don't even know if this one's going up again. Yeah, it's still at 28. So I'll keep an eye on this stuff off camera. I'll just like extend some of this glass over. Eventually I'll figure out a way to blend this into the house and make it look better. But the whole idea is after today, this canola farm will be completed. We will never have to come back here, and I will leave it here forever. I'm not going to demolish this when I get a better power source. There's no reason to. I'll just make a different building for it. So this one will forever be here, and I wanted to know that it was optimized as best as it could be. So that's why we did this today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. If you found it entertaining, or my misery in my organic chemistry class, you know, funny, then feel free to give it a like. It helps me out a ton. But thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you later.